Where's the lying news agency of Nigeria? Are they here? Those liars and deceivers, are they here? That distort the news. You don't know what law is. You don't know what justice is. Where's the news agency of Nigeria? What are they? You don't know that God is a God of justice. You don't know that? That God in heaven is a God of justice. You don't know that?
But that's what you wrote. You said here, my lord, that the defendant has now applied for bail. Now, as I've said earlier, bail is a discretion of the court, taking into consideration all the conditions laid down in Muhammad Abacha v. State. At this stage, I am of the opinion that to make or take a stand on the bail application without first hearing and determine the issue that is glaring in the face, which is the absence of the defendant from the court since 25th of April 2017 until he was produced on the 29th of June. My lord, which was exactly what the Supreme Court did. They said that he did not jump bail. These criminals came to my house to kill me. That's what the Supreme Court said. This is in your own court, my lord. So I cannot understand, my lord, why my trial will be conducted contrary to the Constitution of Nigeria that said I must have free and unfettered access to my counsel. Is here. Okay. He did something in my case. I refused him. He was office official. I asked him to recuse himself. Why did the chief judge insist I was right? He left my case.
Okay, listen. If anybody is not happy with this, then you need to go on.
No, I cannot. Because I have a court order. I have a court order. You have recused yourself. I have a court order. Anybody who disagrees with this order of court, go to appeal court. That's what you tell me all the time. You are from this official. You cannot preside over this case number again. Not in this life. You cannot. Not now, not tomorrow, not ever. A woman here cannot force this court to preside on my case. You cannot. Not today, not till forever. You are recused and you stand recused. Tell the chief judge, Mr Kanu said, go on appeal. I recused him from my case. The state recused Justice Adema from my case. I did not insist Adema must hear my case. I never insisted. So why must you insist to hear my case? I don't want you in my case. I don't need you in my case. You are biased. You are biased. You cannot be in my case. A woman should do the right thing. A chairman of the board of managers constitution shall resume propriety. Nowhere in the world such nonsense come. You cannot be hobnobbing with lawyers, hobnobbing with justices, and you're proceeding a case. It's shameful. Absolutely shameful. Shameful. This is a court of law. This is a shrine to injustice. And I will not subject myself to it. You stand recused and you must take my case. You cannot buy me.
I simply applied for a legal trial of the defendant.
This man is not paying attention. There is an order of recusal, and he's a senior advocate for goodness sake. There's an order of recusal. Is that not the rule of law? The law says if you disagree with this, you go and appeal. You are a grown-up man. Because of 300 million, you're behaving like a child. Go and appeal. Because of money. Because of money they're paying you from ATM surface, you are here standing and smoking evil. Because of money. A grown-up man like you, you say you have to want to behave like a man of honor. The rule of law says you go and appeal. His lordship beat that you will not try my case. Not on this planet Earth, I'm telling you that now. So stop wasting your time.
So that, as I said, the view of the class that the defendant has indicated that he will not make a formal application. I advise that the motion be was a safety day for hearing.
You are not well. You are not well. I'm telling you, this God Almighty not well. This is an order of God. An order of God says, Justice Binta Nyako is recused. An order of God. Order she made as an order. The same Chief Justice writing the stupid memo he's writing. I recused him. He was functus official. He sat on appeal. I took him to NJC. I recused him. Why did he not say I must sit on your case? Why in the case of his lordship is he insisting? He wants to embarrass her. He wants to embarrass your lordship by asking her to come and sit on this case. Is that what you're saying? There's an order. Give it to him. He doesn't have it. Give him an order of court. It's an order of court. Give it to him. He doesn't have it. Give it. He doesn't have it. It's an order of court.
I take your permission.
It's an order of court.
I take your permission to address you. But let me tell the defendant that in everything life, there's need for wisdom. And wisdom is very important in this matter.
And telling lies.
It is not right for you to be insulting the teacher.
If you insult yourself, I will insult you. If you have no respect for yourself, I will insult you. Because people are telling the law, when it comes to Mr Kanu, you turn the law upside down. The law says one thing. If the law says this paper is white, when I go to court, they say it's black. When I say it's black, they say it's white. Is that law? I'm asking you, a senior advocate of Nigeria, is that law? Is the memo from Chief Judge, is memo from Chief Judge sufficient to set aside and a court order? The answer is no. Why do you want to change the law in my own case? His Lordship, Justice Binta Nyako, stand recused in my case. Cannot try me. Why don't you get it? Giving you a definite get for trial so you can do your mathematics you always do. People without shame. I have here before me for the benefit of Chief Awomolo because it seems he doesn't know the law. So I will tell you, this is national judicial policy of this country. Please give them a copy each. National judicial policy of Nigeria, national judicial policy. I will tell you what it says. Because you don't know, I will tell you. Talking about memo from the Chief Judge of the High Court. Judicial policy of Nigeria, 1C. I'm reading. Verbatim. In the performance of judicial functions, the judge is subject only to the law and must only consider the law. The rule of law in every common law jurisdiction in the world is that once an order of court is entered, the only way to set it aside is by going on appeal. That's the rule of law. But it's not advocate, you don't know. I will go to see. A judge must not take or attempt to take orders or instructions of any kind from anyone, even the chief judge, from anybody that may influence his decisions in the performance of judicial function. It means that his lordship, having entered an order of court, a decision between myself and her.
Actually, we are seeing a surprise development. Remember that Omotosho led a protest hashtag free Nnamdi Kanu now, where he shut down Abuja for Nnamdi Kanu. But surprisingly, Shora appeared in court today, and we have seen that he has been arrested. And Shora is someone who has visited Alojimeko the other day, and he submitted a bail application. What are we seeing? What is this new tweet?
I think a total clampdown on resistance voices and voice of freedom. Because it becomes very relevant as a result of Mr Nnamdi Kanu on this issue. And before now, I can tell you there was a court injunction stating that Sowore should not be allowed within the court premises, you know, and that statement was issued by the court, and Sowore, which for now does not hold any water. Sowore actually went to court because Mr Nnamdi Kanu is appearing in the court today. We don't know whether actually it was based on that he was arrested or based on the already the development that we are seeing at this moment, where Mr Kanu has finally taken a decision to actually open defense. And but if you look at Omotosho's arrest, he sent another strong signal that Nigerian government has actually declared war on justice, has actually declared war on freedom. Sowore's arrest, as I report to you, right there in the court where Mr Kanu was is seen, attending to his court
in the picture
appearance
on the
today.
screen, you can clearly see Sowore and of course Nnamdi Kanu while they were moving together, even right in the hospital. Viewers can see the picture on the screen.
Yes, they can watch the video of how Sowore was actually, arrested, and taken to unknown location. But let me tell you very clearly, that issue of Sowore's arrest is going to trigger another form of, discussion centering on how this government have become tyrannical and draconian to
let me
the
even
people.
ask this. Is it because Sowore had hinted the other day that he's going to give updates as to the next line of action sequel to another protest? Yeah, would it because they don't want another protest?
It's not necessarily, if Sowore does not lead any protest, there are thousands of them here who can actually lead the protest and still make an impact. I can tell you that, outside that, a day has not been fixed for another, powerful, impactful protest in that regard, as in Freeman's Nnamdi Kanu now protest, and that's already, getting international acknowledgement. Let me put it that way. International attention. And the Nnamdi Kanu factor has continued to generate, traction in all ramifications. So if you look at what actually Bola Ahmed Tinubu want to achieve with all this, he's really painting his government in really bad light. Considering this latest development where the leader of revolution now, Omotosho, has been arrested right inside the court. The arrest of Sowore will trigger another form of uprising. Let me put it that way, because Nigerians will not like to see that kind of a thing, happen. And we were seeing severally in this part of the world under Jonathan, the way a manner protest was being led in this country. It is a civil responsibility. It is a civil right. Arresting Sowore will not solve the problem. The government themselves should look inwards and see how they are going to manage this issue, so that it will not turn to something they cannot handle after. These are people, these are figures the entire masses of Nigeria see, as a symbol of hope, as a symbol of freedom, as a symbol of defense, as a symbol, of justice, and those who cannot be able to speak for themselves, the voice of the voiceless. So it can trigger, it might have a multiplying effect, a similar effect on this government if care is not taken. I want to say it very clearly, that action has been taken right there in the presence of the presiding judge, James Omotosho, and I can tell you that those DSS that were involved, it happened in the presence of Omotosho, and the presiding judge was not able to stop the arrest of Sowore inside the court. It's quite unfortunate.
But is Sowore becoming a threat to the government?
Sowore is not a threat to anybody. I can never be a threat. If Sowore is a threat to them now, then what happens under Jonathan? And when Sowore was seen as part of the protest that led to, I would say it was the downfall of Jonathan, but we see how prominent figures in this country led a protest against Jonathan and said a lot of things about Jonathan. Jonathan never arrested anybody, but it tells you that a lot of things is wrong and factored into into, you know, what the government does not want the Nigerian masses to know about how they are being, they are managing, you know, the instrument of justice in this country. And you see, I repeat again, I want to be quoted. Every Nigerian was born a free man, you know. Then how come we suddenly become slaves under APC?
But do you think the government can manage hashtag free Nnamdi Kanu, hashtag free Sowore? It's becoming too obvious that
you know, it depends on how long. It depends on how long they want to keep Sowore in secret detention. You understand? Then that will now be another factor that will determine, you know, what is going to happen. But I think the whole thing is being modeled together. Let me just say it one thing. If some people have been listening to one of the former CIA writer, James Hadley Chase, he said it very clearly, you know, that too many fish in the pond will stay up the mud. What is building up currently now can stay up a revolution in Nigeria, and they will not be able to, you know, stop it. Arresting Sowore is not the solution to what is happening now. If and as much as under Jonathan we saw a lot of protests that took place, why is the Nigerian government going after people who are protesting to what they feel is passive judgment to their plight? That is not democracy anymore. Like what we see, you know, this thing is becoming, you know, tyrannical, and it's a sign of an emperor in power. And I think to an extent, Nigerians can decide anytime to rise against this, you know, clamp down on resistant voices in Nigeria. Like the likes of Sowore. Sowore and Nnamdi Kanu are not in the same line of, you know, agitation, you know. But I can tell you, I remember some time ago when Sowore was also apprehended. You can take you back during the days of Ezazaki, you know, when both of them were in custody. Nnamdi Kanu was in London, and he uses his platform to advocate for the immediate release of Sowore and Ezazaki. And
what Sowore is doing like a payback time?
I wouldn't say it's a payback time. What has triggered Sowore's, you know, leading a protest is circumstantial, you know, because Nnamdi Kanu has attracted sympathy. Nnamdi Kanu has attracted, you know, international attention. Nnamdi Kanu, you know, is being seen that what is happening to Nnamdi Kanu is a deliberate act of injustice, you know, and that was what triggers the likes of Sowore to step in and start calling for Nnamdi Kanu's release. And the law does not justify that Nnamdi Kanu actually committed offense. That is the first thing you must understand.
No, the law presuming innocent or the proven otherwise.
No, it's not a matter of, we don't want to go there. There's no presumption here. It's a matter of presumption. What the law has stated should be respected. In October 2022, the appeal court declared the child unacquitted. The matter was taken to Supreme Court. So then you all came back and ordered for the trial. So what is the justification? Apart from that, you do not continue a trial in a court of competent jurisdiction in a situation where a criminal act was being perceived to have been conducted against the suspect. It is no longer the law. Nnamdi Kanu is in DSS custody because of interest.
Let us briefly look at Nnamdi Kanu deciding to sack his lawyers and is calling some big names as witness to his case. The names like Babaji Sanwo, of course.
Nnamdi Kanu did not. Let us put that record very correct straight here on this point. Nnamdi Kanu never sacked any lawyer. Nnamdi Kanu opened defense because the presiding judge, James Omotosho, said that Nnamdi Kanu has a case to answer. Yes, then of course the federal government have closed their defense. That is okay. He submitted no case submission. He came back and said he has a case. This is the case now.
What do you make of the big names you are hearing?
He is going to defend himself. He's going to expose them to the law. Yes, let them come and prove. Let me tell you why he mentioned Sowore. You know, Nnamdi Kanu, one of the charges against Nnamdi Kanu, where they are using against him, was the issue of answers. And if you look at what the Lagos State government, you know, the panel they said on answers, you know, nobody mentioned Nnamdi Kanu's name there. So someone should come out and defend how Mazi Nnamdi Kanu ignited the EndSARS thing. As simple as that. With the panel report. So the whole world will see where Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's name that appeared in that panel. So it's a case of suicide mission, live or die, whichever way Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has turned the table against them. And that is where they are seeing that they need to keep in one side so that nobody will begin to trigger what they saw happen in October 20th. But unfortunately for them, we have thousands of resilient activists currently now tied to the freedom of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu from all over the world.